Hey, everybody, in this episode of the GH Report, Shiloh's out, Jason's angry, and we've got the best prison couple meet-cute that you're ever going to see. We're going to break it all down next.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey, everybody, welcome to the GH Report.
Report.
We're on Sundays on AfterBuzz TV.
Happy Father's Day.
That's right. There you go. Hey, everybody, welcome to the GH Report right here on AfterBuzz, breaking down all the latest shenanigans. Trademark Carla Renata right there. Inhabiting in Port Charles. I'm Frank Moran.
I'm Carla Renata.
As always, folks, like us on Facebook, give us those 5 stars on iTunes, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and
we got applause.
Look at that. Well, that's for you. I got no applause.
Yeah, right.
It was a silence.
That's not true. My foot keeps itching.
Oh, no.
Okay.
We're going to be talking about Carla's foot itching for the next 35 minutes.
No, we won't.
But we've got the chat up and running. In fact, Carla's got her iPad here. There's a lot of people already in the chat.
There are. Let's do roll call. Annie Goin, Joe Costanzo, Michael B, Pelly, Kelly Public Cover, Lisa Wagner, Marlon Wallace, Matthew Kennedy, and I think that's about it that I can see right now. And if I miss somebody, I will catch you later. But thank you for joining us today.
There you go. And for those of you that are going to watch us later, and just enjoy that Father's Day. There you go. That lucky father in your life. We'll be talking about those latest happenings there in Port Charles. We'll do a little news and gossip at the end of the show to round it out. But before we break everything down in exacting detail, minute by minute, second by second.
Yes.
Carla, what did you think of the week overall?
It was a really interesting week. I think the end of the week was probably the best part of the whole week. With all the little surprises at the end of the week. I was like, ooh, this is going to be interesting. Actually, the whole week was very riveting for me. In the middle of the week was a little, but you know me. It's always some part of the week where I'm like, but the beginning and the end of the week was really good.
Well, I want to ask you a question here because this is the thing that's starting to bug me. It's what happens is that when something major happens to a soap opera character and you see other people have kind of conspired to assist this other person, as soon as that person is able, they're going to start. So why did this happen? I wonder why. What's going on? Why would this person happen? Or why would this person do it? Or why would this situation happen? And you see everybody else that's involved in that kind of going, don't say anything.
Yeah, like my favorite moment is when Curtis and Stella were in Jordon's room and that conversation was happening, and she was like, "Don't you owe me a cup of coffee?"
Yeah.
And he's like, for what?" He was like, "For convincing Ryan to give his kidney." Like, wink, wink. I said, "Oh Lord, that was just bad."
Well, we now get the official confirmation, and I know people are talking about it in the chat, and we were like, is it really?
Yep, and I thought about that when that happened last week. I'm like, oh, the people in the chat room said that this is probably the case, and they were right.
Yeah, so we get the old switcheroo with Kevin and Ryan so that Jordan can get her kidney. Are you satisfied that all these people conspired to kind of screw Ryan?
Yeah, hell yeah. He deserved it.
Do you feel Jordon should be like, I need to talk to Ryan because I need to understand why?
Because she said that. And I'm like, Miss Thing, you got a kidney. Shut up, calm down, heal up, and, just what are you doing? Like, be glad because last week you was like, oh, I'm dying. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for doing that. And this week you like recovering from surgery. You got a little more color to your face. Your eyes ain't looking like a raccoon. Girl, sit down and take several seats.
Because it seems to me like if I was near death and whoever gave me a kidney, I'm not then going to question why that person decided.
Look, right. I'm like, look, I got a kidney. Let's keep this party going.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And especially when it's somebody like Ryan Chamberlain, the guy's a serial killer. Who cares? I mean, his motives are suspect no matter what the situation is. So what are you expecting? Are you expecting him to tell you the truth or not? Who cares?
And the truth of the matter is, Ryan doesn't really know the truth. He suspects he knows the truth, but he doesn't know for sure. But I don't know. So, which brings me to this. So I don't remember Nelle having a kidney stolen. Do you remember that?
Well, yeah, that's when her father basically sold it to Jax.
Oh.
So that Jax could get it.
Oh.
But that was like the whole thing that we found out. That's like Jack's deep, dark secret once Nelle came into town like, oh, wait a minute. This is who I got the kidney from.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, did I miss that episode? What happened?
But yeah, again, like to see this, it still just brings up why like Nell's just misplaced anger towards Carly. Sure, it was her stepdad, Carly's stepdad, that was also involved with Nelle that did all this. But it's, again, Carly had nothing to do with it. It was all Jax.
She's mad at Carly because Carly wasn't having her being with Michael. That ultimately, that's what she's really pissed off about. And let's just talk about the fact that she's still not over Michael. Miss Thing, your ass is in jail. Michael ain't thinking about you. When she was all up in Brad's face, has he moved on? Has he gotten over me? Who cares, Miss Thing? You the only one that care. You were the only one that care. Like, what are you doing? Move on with your life.
Now, if you're Brad in that situation, what do you say if Nelle starts asking those kind of questions? Are you going to just say anything to placate her because you don't want to make her mad because she could blow the lid on her being the real mother of your baby?
Oh, she's laying to do that at this point.
Yes.
Because when she says she might get out for good behavior, they're already letting us know that they're probably going to let her out. And if that happens, that's going to blow the lid off of it because she's always going to be lurking around a corner, blackmailing him, saying that, I want to see Wiley, or whoever, whatever the child's name is going to end up being, because it's not going to be Wiley. But she's always going to be lurking around some corner, so somebody's going to try to kill her. It might end up, somebody in the chat room said that Ryan's going to kill her with his hook hands. That's cold-blooded.
Well, we see at the end of the week, and I know Michael B., as we were talking about before the show, and had tweeted us during the course of the week, that Nelle and Ryan meet in prison while Nelle is cleaning the room that he's in.
Right.
And the question is like, wow, we didn't realize that his thought was like, oh, I didn't realize prisons were co-ed.
I know Michael B. is like, why is prison co-ed? It's not co-ed, but when you're in prison, they give you little jobs and stuff to do to, earn your keep so that you can have money to buy your toilet paper and your toothbrush and your toothpaste and all that kind of stuff. So that's why she was in there.
And so there could be a men's side and a women's side, and the infirmary is sort of like neutral ground.
Exactly.
Where both men and women can be in there.
Exactly. And Michael B. said Brad is going to have to get rid of Nelle, or Jules will have to do it. Yeah, somebody she definitely going to get bumped off because she's doing way too much.
Oof, it's like, oh yeah, because Wiley needs a strong maternal figure in his life. I'm like, oh.
She's doing way too much. And Daisy Flower 40, welcome Daisy Flower 40. She said that Joss has Nelle's kidney.
Yes.
Okay, so that we're all on the same page.
Correct. That's because Jack set that up.
Okay, cool. Yeah. All right.
That's the. I mean, how much? It is curious with Nelle, like how much she says that just to start stirring the pot, and how much she genuinely means. Because I feel like Nelle likes to just make people sweat.
But she don't. She'll say that, but then she kind of practices what she preaches, so to speak. Like, she threatened Ava, and she kind of came through on some stuff with Ava. Anytime when she starts verbally threatening people, she's got something is lurking in the back of her mind that she wants to do, and she just hasn't figured out how to accomplish it. But Daisy Flower 40 did bring up a good point. She said Ryan did kill the last person that tried to help him, that chick in Canada. He also killed Patricia Bethune's character, Nurse. What was her name?
Oh, Nurse.
Tell me what her name is, y'all. Y'all know the one that just won the Emmy that used to call Carly Caroline. Tell me what her character name is. I can't remember it right now. But he killed her, and he killed the chick in Canada. So it's like, what's to stop him from killing Nelle? And then he did tell Finn, he said, there's not a prison that can hold me. And when I get out, I will come for each one of you and kill you one by one. I'm like, ooh.
I mean, because I feel
the
like
drama of it all. Mary Pat, that was her name. Mary Pat. Thank you.
The girl in Canada, I mean, she basically, we see her on the phone call kind of like changing her mind and reaching out to Curtis and Laura. Mm-hmm. So I feel like maybe that was a change of heart after seeing Ryan stab a knife into the newspaper photo. I'm like, maybe I made the wrong move. Let this guy just hang out of my house. So I feel like that's why she had to go.
Well, she was going to go anyway because she had already given him the antibiotics for his hand, and he is a doctor, because he did say when he was talking to Nelle, I didn't realize he really was a doctor, and maybe I forgot that, but he said that, what did he say, he was a pediatric doctor or something like that?
I had forgotten that. It's been so long.
You know what I mean? I was like, oh, okay, so he is a doctor, so he did have knowledge about how to stop the infection from happening with his hand, and once he got what he needed from Homegirl, he kicked her to the curb.
The one thing I did like is he was talking with Nelle, that saying, hey, I was the patient next to Carly after you got her put in Fernwood. And having my conversations with Kevin and her was how I learned to fake being a psychiatrist. So I was like, all right, that was a nice nod as to why he was room for so long.
That was excellent writing right there. And what was also excellent is when he said, yeah, they talked about you a lot. And he went, nothing good, I'm afraid. I laughed out loud when he said that. I kind of love John Lindstrom playing the double roles. I wish he could do it a lot more, but I know how much work that is for him and how stressful and taxing that is, but man, it's very entertaining to watch.
It was, that I have to admit, it was an interesting twist putting him in Nell's orbit, and then as they were talking, just how many similarities that they do have. Both losing a kidney that they didn't want, they didn't authorize. Carly, Ava, even though they have different opinions of Ava.
Yes, because Nelle was like, don't you hate Ava? He's like, oh, I could never hate Ava. Never. I'm like, oh God, really?
Yeah, I mean, I did like his perspective. It's like he just needs to help her unleash her full potential. It's all these losers around here that are just ruining it.
Like she's gonna turn into a serial killer just because you want her to. That made me laugh out loud too. That was actually kind of funny.
My love can make you kill. That's right.
Oh, Daisy Flower brought up a really good point. She said that when Ryan first came on the show in the 80s, there was a person in the prison who he killed. Look, we've already established that there's nobody that Ryan won't kill that's in his way. He'll kill anybody. He has no conscience.
No, I mean, we thought, being dead didn't stop him because everybody thought he was dead. He's back. So when somebody says, hey, no prison can hold me, we're rest assured we're gonna find out.
We're gonna find one somewhere that's gonna hold you, brother. Sorry, love you, mean it.
We're gonna see them get out, and if both Nelle and Ryan get out to start stirring up a little trouble, that'd be great. I mean, I'd be down for the two of them teaming up to just see what kind of hijinks they can get into.
I'm thinking they are going to team up, and I'm thinking that them teaming up is going to ultimately result in her demise. Because she's going to say something. See, she's one of the manipulative type of psychopaths. She's very manipulative. Ryan doesn't think too much about what he's going to do. He makes a decision about what he's going to do, and he just does it. Nelle likes to taunt people. She likes to mess with people psychologically and just mess with them all. I was going to say something else. Just mess with them. I can't do that, though. Just mess with them all the time. And then you're always left wondering, is she going to make good on this verbal threat, or is she just mentally messing with people? But Ryan is the complete opposite. And she is going to get real comfortable with Ryan, and she's going to say the wrong thing to him, and he's going to pop her. Because that's just how she rolls, because she always says something stupid all the time. Look what happened when she kept saying something stupid to Michael. Michael was like, yeah, I've had enough of this. It's time for her to go.
Yeah,
and the same thing with Chase. They were like, yeah, it's time for her to go. She's doing too much.
We do see at the end of the week that Nelle does get a new roommate, and that happens to be our girl, Harmony.
Woo! I was living for that last moment. I was like, ooh. But what I was really living for was that scene, in that interrogation room with her and Shiloh, where Shiloh was like, I need you to get me a lawyer, somebody better than a public defender. He's like, I will after I get my son. She looked at him like, fool, are you crazy? So I think in that one single solitary moment, she realized that he was going to let her take the fall for him. Because he says, you decided to do that. I didn't ask you to do that. Like, he said that to her. And then even after Willow comes and pleads with her, and is like, Mom, we can do this together. We can be a family. Don't you see he's going to let you rot in jail for this? It broke my heart that when she got ready to leave that room, she turned around and said goodbye. I'm like, girl, really, does he have a dick laden in gold? Like, what is going on? I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, the great manipulator to make you believe that his idea is really your idea. It's like, oh, yeah, it was my idea to confess. And I was waiting, and Shiloh was smart because he never burns a bridge with anybody.
Nope.
Because when he does leave that room after he gets the money transferred from
offshore accounts, I wouldn't have signed a damn. See, that was her biggest mistake. I wouldn't have signed shit. I would have been like, no.
Yeah.
You take some of this money and you get me out of here, and then I'll sign this. That's what I would have done.
For sure.
When she signed that, I was like, "Oh, girl, what you doing?" Like, I was like, "Oh man." When she signed that, I'm like, "She's never getting out."
That was it. That was the only
That
sort of
was
leverage
it.
you could have had over him.
That was the only leverage she had over him. That was it, and it was gone.
But then when he leaves, he goes, "Oh yeah, you'll be the first to know." Whatever.
Yeah,
It's like,
not.
yeah, I was expecting him to go like, "I'll never see you again. I got what I needed." He didn't burn her, but yeah.
No, he was like, "You'll be the first to know." I'm like,
Mhm.
"You are a liar, and your breath stank. Like, what are you doing? I can't."
And your breath stank.
And your breath stank.
Folks, before we hop on to more shenanigans here in Port Charles, just taking a moment to say a big thank you for all of you watching the GH Report. You're taking time out of your Sunday. You've got many other things you could be doing. It's Father's Day. You could be having a nice cookout on the grill or just relaxing at home or just hanging out doing whatever you do, but you're taking time out to watch us, and we greatly appreciate it. It's not just us, but everybody here at AfterBuzz also feels that same sense of gratitude for all of you taking time out of whatever day it happens to be during the week to watch any of the shows that we do here. But we're also asking for a little bit of help. If you get a chance, if you can subscribe to the YouTube channel, leave a comment there. Leave a 5-star rating in iTunes when you have a moment and leave a comment there. We'd greatly appreciate it. But no matter where you're watching or listening, just get involved in the conversation like these great people that are on the chat right now. Carla loves it.
That was sounding very much like a Jerry Lewis telethon commercial moment.
We need you. Let's go to the big
We
board,
need
everybody.
those pledges. Oh my God, that was funny. Kelly's like commercial time.
That's
LOL.
right.
I'm like, oh, okay.
These people here at AfterBuzz, they need your help. Let's look at the totals. All right. But thank you, everybody, no matter where you're watching. Thanks for enjoying the shows and continuing to make us the ESPN of TV Talk.
Hey now, hey now.
There you go.
Hey now, brown cow.
Now, I did like the beginning, as we were talking about Shiloh, the beginning of the week, Jason realizes, hey, Shiloh's getting out. And just him losing it with Sonny.
Ooh.
I just want to get it done and I want to get it done now.
But what was hilarious, but not really, was Sonny going, dude, you can't go out like that. Like, you're the best for a reason. It was almost like he had to appeal to Jason's ego to stop him from doing something stupid. Even Sam had to talk him off the ledge. So between Sam and Sonny, he kind of backed off, but I don't know how long that's going to last. Because every time he sees him, he looks like he just want to punch him in his throat.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And, I'm wondering if there's going to be the point where Jason no longer has to hold back with Shiloh and just goes to town on him.
You know it's happening, and I can't wait. I love watching him get his butt beat because he deserves every punch and throw that comes his way.
And I guess he's got to still play up his, hey, I'm a new man. I've changed my life. I'm now Shiloh. But every time that he's come up against Jason, he's got a butt whipping. So
every time.
And this is a guy that is trained to be. He was a special ops person in the military. He's whatever he did military training.
Yep.
That he still just gets his butt handed to him every time he comes up.
And I'm there for all of it. I'm there for all of it. Every single time. I love when Jason rails on him. It is the best thing ever.
Well, it looks like we have our final look at Margot Dawson this week. So she's officially resigned as DA.
Because I was like, why Margot? I thought like she had that big goodbye and left in that scene with Laura, and I thought she was gone. And then I turned on the TV there this week, and there she is. I'm like, okay, did y'all do a false goodbye? Like, what's happening?
Which I'm glad for, because I felt there was just these little bits of closure. Like, if she's gone now, totally fine.
Right.
I mean, we see her putting her place up for sale, and Lucy overhears that. She gets a chance to interact with Shiloh one last time to say, like, oh, you're going to get what's coming to you. And then she does meet with Jason and say, this is why I had to let him go. And here's what you could do to hopefully get him.
That was a nice scene between the two of them. I enjoyed that scene between the two of them. What the other thing that happened was that scene in Charlie's where Shiloh comes in there and he literally, like, he must be dense. Like, something must be wrong with him. There has to be a little bit of him that's just dumb as a doornail. Because why would you come up in Charlie's and who's the first person you go for? Christina. Like, have you lost your damn mind? I would love one of those lattes of yours. I'm like, fool, are you crazy?
Yeah.
I was like, and then everybody kind of descended on him like the plague after that. It was like, it was like, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It was a hot mess.
There's part of me that's like, I don't think he's dumb. I think he likes just
antagonizing people. Like, he's sick. Something wrong with him.
Where it's like, I'm just coming to you as just a nice guy. Why are you mad?
And then Julian had to get up in his face. I was like, and I'm like, okay, so I thought he had left until we see him sitting down, and then another waitress comes up and she's like, didn't Julian ask you to leave? I'm like, where'd everybody go?
Yeah, but I hate that his Dawn of Day book. He can say a quote from that, and then it just convinces everybody, like, oh yeah, I guess you're right. I'll go get you that cup of coffee. What?
Oh,
Come
please.
on.
What about the girl at at Mercy Hospital that gave him the information about Willow?
Oh, I'm a big fan.
I was like, he ran into 3 people this week that were Dawn of Day people that we'd never met before. The girl at the restaurant, the girl at Mercy Hospital, and then there was another girl at I think she was at General Hospital, I think. I'm getting my hospitals mixed up.
Oh, yeah, that when they started with the initial list of hospitals in the area.
Yeah, and the other girl with the blonde... No, it was General Hospital because he was in the bed, and she came in and she said, this is just a travesty. I'm like, all of y'all are crazy as hell. Crazy as a Betsy Bug. I don't understand what's going on. I really don't.
I did like him grabbing Sam, and then Jason coming in. Oh, hold on there.
I lived for whenever anybody comes for Sam, Jason is like Superman. He just kind of swoops in that last moment and saves the day. And I love how he had that conversation with Sam about like when Franco took her before and he couldn't get to her. And this time he almost didn't get to her with Shiloh, and how upset and how helpless that makes him feel. Like it was a vulnerable moment that he had with Sam that I'd never seen him have with Sam. Like they've never had that conversation about that. So that was kind of cool.
And I did like Shiloh saying, I did tell the police that if anything were to happen to me, then they should talk to you.
like that's gonna stop him from kicking his please.
He goes, I'll keep that in mind. Like Jason's never been in that situation before.
He is the most arrogant, this is just a testament to the actor that's playing the role, because he is playing that role with such venom, ego, and arrogance that every time he comes on the screen, you just have a visceral negative reaction to him, which means he's doing his job. It's the same way we felt about Mary Pat. Every time she came on the screen, he'll probably win an Emmy too this time next year.
But I still don't understand if they have the recordings from what they did in the Dawn of Day house, where you saw Shiloh take Sam back over there after the nurse's ball stuff and said, hey, we're going to do this tonight. Gives her the tea, does the tattoo, and then takes her away to the lighthouse. Mm-hmm. Harmony is not around at all on the premises. Mm-mm. So how is
She's
everybody...
in Beacher's Corners.
How's everybody willing to say, like, just because she said she did it, we have no proof that she did it, so we will charge her?
Yeah, that is kind of funky that they don't have any proof. Because, well, they do have proof that there was a drug in the cup. They do have that, but they assume that it was Shiloh, but they don't have any proof that it was actually Harmony that put that stuff in the tea. But then they kind of figure out that it was true because his reaction to her saying it, like, that was real. That wasn't a conversation that they had planned. Like, his reaction to her doing that was real. He was like, why would you do that? People were willingly coming. Why would you? And she was like, and she's crying. The thing about Harmony that cracks me up is whenever she cries, there's only tears in one eye. Have you ever noticed that with her? There's only tears happening in one eye. I'm like, you don't have tear ducts in the other eye? What's going on? I don't understand.
She's only half sad. That's it. She's only half sad.
I cannot.
But the fact that everybody looked at the footage that Sonny and Jason gave them, and Sam said that, yeah, I consented to this. We don't see Harmony at all in the house that day. You got to imagine that tea was freshly made. Mm-hmm. So what the heck? I don't know why they just let her go. So
he had to have known the recipe to it.
Yeah. In
order for it to be a drug. Or maybe she had a concoction already done up, and all he had to do was pour it out. Maybe she would come in like once a week and put in a fresh concoction or something, because that could happen too.
I guess, but
and that's something that would happen off camera that we don't necessarily need to see.
It just seems so weird that just her confession alone, without any evidence to support it, is enough to already get her in prison.
Child, it's a soap opera.
Yeah, I guess. Am I expecting reality now?
Yeah, you are. And then let's talk about the fact that Brad is back up in Julian's face going, you gotta help me, you gotta help me. He's having a wonderful happy Father's Day today, I bet. Not.
I mean, it is interesting with the whole Willow case, because everybody's worried about making sure that the trail from leading Willow to Wiley is covered up.
Right.
And so Julian's done his bit with Sam, kind of racing the records. The only thing that really exists right now that ties them together is what exists in Diane's files.
And then Willow went to Diane and asked her to destroy the files. And Diane was like, excuse me, but I'm really not trying to lose my law license over you and this little baby. She didn't say it like that, but she said it much more eloquently than I'm saying it. But that's basically the gist of what she said. And she was like, "You got the best lawyer in town." She's like, "You know, that's just not me boasting." Yeah, it is, diva. You're boasting and talking about how fierce you are, but you telling the truth. So
Yeah, because when she breaks down, like, no matter what Shiloh finds out, it's going to be from he had to do something illegal to find that, which is it's gonna be inadmissible then in court. Any reasoning that he's gonna have. So I mean, it feels like Diane's making a really valid case about why Willa shouldn't be worried.
And she did. I mean, I was there for everything she said. I love Diane. I wish we could see her more. The other scene that I loved was the scene between Sonny and Christina in the kitchen. You know, and watching him on the phone talking to Jason, telling Jason not to go after Shiloh while he's looking at Christina. It just softened him up a little bit, which it's so The Godfather is like my favorite movie trilogy ever, and it just cracks me up every once in a while how I see these glimpses of Godfather in Port Charles when it comes to Sonny. So there, in I think it's either Godfather 2 or Godfather 3. It might be Godfather 3. We see a lot of Michael Corleone in the kitchen cooking. We're starting to see a lot of Sonny in the kitchen cooking. There was a huge bond between Michael Corleone and his daughter in Godfather 3. There's a huge bond with Christina and Sonny. Like, they are going back to The Godfather for like some little pointers here and there when it comes to Sonny. It cracks me up, but I am there for all of it.
Well,
all of it.
It's got to be tough for a person that's, has power, is used to protecting his family, doing what he thinks needs to be done to make them safe, to have one of them saying, "I need you to stop being like that, and you need to allow me to make my own mistakes."
Yeah, it was a really wonderful scene. The other thing that I wanted to hit real quick was the scenes between Nina, Jax, and Ava, where they were. It was looking like Ava wasn't going to sign on to have this cover story done, and then. And Nina was not aware of the fact that Jax was trying to do like conspiracy type of thing to talk her into it so that he could drag her under the mud because he wanted to avenge Connie being shot by Ava.
It was interesting. It was great to see Jax kind of have that reaction to everything that happened with Connie.
It was great to see Jax being kind of evil because usually Jax is like, oh, so nice, oh, so lovely, oh, so wonderful. So it's kind of nice to see him have a little bit of an edge now that he's back too.
Yeah, and I do like it. You're putting yourself, submitting to yourself to Ava's vanity.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So it's like, this is the best way to make her look bad is to just allow her to be herself and let the public judge
and undo herself.
But I also thought that the way when everything goes down in Nina's office and Jax lays into Ava, and Ava's like, "Forget this, I'm not a part of this," to go then down to the Metro Court to meet Jax again, and it's just, I felt like it was almost too quick of a turnaround. It was just Carly saying, "This is stupid if you put Ava on the cover." That was enough.
I totally bought that because she can't stand Carly. Think about just how much she hates Carly, if not more than Nelle does. So nothing more goats her than Carly going off on her and her wanting to prove Carly wrong once and for all.
A sidebar on that is, why doesn't Ava ever just call ahead in terms of, seeing, if her daughter's there? Because she just shows up and then they find out, oh no, she's at the zoo. Like, if you would have just called, you would have known, and you'd have to waste the time, and then you have this terrible argument.
Because I think that's part of that. I think that speaks to part of Ava's selfishness. Like, she doesn't think ahead. She sits there. When it comes to Avery, she doesn't think ahead. She just goes, "Oh, I'd love nothing more than to get a hug from my daughter," and then she just pops by the house. She doesn't think when it comes to her kids. She didn't think when it came to Kiki. She doesn't think when it comes to Avery. She just thinks because it's her kid, she should be able to see them anytime she wants to, regardless of what the custody situation is.
But I would think, because of all the times, I think maybe, is it once maybe that it's turned out that she could see her daughter? Every other time it's either she's sleeping, she's at somebody else's house, she's at the zoo, she's out doing something else. You would think after so many times of having that blow up in your face, just call. Save yourself the hassle.
Or they might be aging Avery up. We don't know. Because sometimes they do that when they're
27, that's what I read online. 27.
Because sometimes they do that when they're thinking about, doing something different with that character.
I'll give Avery, as an actor, as a child actor, she's doing good.
Yeah, she's doing a great job. I also wanted to address Kim and Drew and Kim hallucinating that she was talking to Oscar. Yeah. That was a little weird.
It was.
Wasn't that weird? It made me sad, though.
I don't know if it, yeah. And I don't know if it was just for her to share her innermost feelings about Drew without, to somebody she doesn't know is Drew.
I think that was probably the purpose for the scene.
To possibly stir up a potential love triangle between her, Julian, and Drew.
But I'm just like, is she losing her mind? And then I could see that, but it also made me sad because poor Drew. Drew's like, oh my God, she's losing her mind. She's having a moment thinking that I'm her son. Like she's looking at me thinking I'm Oscar, and she hadn't had any drugs or anything, right?
It was the altitude sickness that got to her.
Child, that's some fierce altitude sickness that make you hallucinate seeing other people. I'm like, wow, that was a lot.
Well, but if that was the case, if this whole conversation was now that Drew knows how Kim really feels, or at least she's been honest about some of her feelings, but just how deeply she feels about this, would you be interested in seeing a love triangle between the three of them?
No. I don't need to see that.
I'm not that interested either.
And you know what else I don't need to see? I don't need to see Lulu going on dates trying to find a killer. Or find somebody that's harassing and molesting women or whatever, and totally got busted by Sonny. That was comedy at its finest.
That is a storyline that I am fine only seeing the parts of her arguing the merits of the story with Peter and Maxie, but never seeing an actual application.
Like the guy Mark that she went on the actual date with, I kind of felt sad for him because it seemed like in the conversation that like they were having a good time and they were bonding, they had things in common, and so when she lets him down easy and he's like, well, yeah, hopefully I'll find somebody as perfect as you, I was like, well, she ain't perfect, but okay,
you can do better. You can do better, buddy.
Do so much better. Oh, and then we see that Joss is also having a moment where she thought she saw Oscar at the nurses' ball. She thought that Oscar was texting her back because she had the number and she was texting, I miss you, I love you, I love you, I love you. And then there was that answer back. Turns out it was Drew and Kim that was answering her back and had his phone and telling her that they, scattered the ashes, blah, blah, blah. But then she goes to Lucy going, can you help me, talk to somebody beyond? Like, that's dangerous territory for her, I think.
I mean, I guess I could understand her point of view where you love somebody so intensely and then at that last moment you could have been with them, you had fallen asleep. If they're not following you're on, you're just exhausted, and it just happens to be during that moment where you can't say those final words that you want.
I get that, but dude, I'm just like, I just feel like this is a storyline that's going to lead to some shenanigans, and it's going to put her in danger at some point. She's going to end up going to the wrong person, just like Lucy said to her. There are some people out there that claim they can do this, and they're just going to take your money, and you're just going to be spending all this money and for nothing. And I just feel like she's going to end up probably being in contact with one of those kind of people, and it's going to put her in a dangerous situation where she's going to have to be rescued by someone.
Or she gets her hand on a Ouija board and then it gets taken over by an evil demon.
I cannot stand you right now.
Oh, that's great. It's like the Jocelyn possessed storyline. No? We're not going to go with that?
Somebody said, I can't. It was Matthew Kennedy. He says, I can't with Lulu thinking she's a reporter like Gayle King. Boo-boo, I am right there with you, Matthew King. Ooh, Kennedy, rather. Every time she's, like, acting like she is, Peter Jennings or David Muir or somebody, or Brian, whatever his name is on NBC, I'm just like, girl, calm your jets. You are not that fierce of a reporter. Come on.
Because I'm thinking the only thing, her big claim to fame is the Ryan Chamberlain story. That's pretty much it. I mean, everything else has been, like, local stuff.
It's been nothing. That's why she's all about, because remember she didn't even want to do the story about the guy who's scamming the women, and then Maxie and Peter had to tell her, look, not every story that you go after is going to be as big as the Ryan Chamberlain story. Like, sometimes you got to cover some stuff that is mundane. And she was like, yeah, okay. And then we see her with this guy having a good time, and then she has to cover up and explain it to Sonny, and Sonny's looking at her like, who you think you fooling?
I didn't realize how much I needed to talk to somebody that was paying attention to me. Like, okay, got it.
It's like, girl, please.
I mean, but I understand, at least Sonny's like, how dare you do this to my son? He understands the...
Like, he gets it, but there's only going to be so many more of them times that he catches her doing some shenanigans, and he's going to read her. He's not going to care about what's going on with Dante. He's going to be like, look over here.
Although he did say to her, it's like, no matter what happens, you're always still part of the family, and, so...
He says that, but you know how Sonny is. Sonny will say one thing and do something else. Come on, have we not learned that lesson? I'm just saying, let's call a spade a spade.
time is rapidly going through.
I know, right?
Sands through the hourglass. So are the generals of our hospital.
Not the generals of our hospital.
Oh, no? Is it? Oh, it's the thing.
Days of Our Lives, but that's not this show.
I know.
But
So, folks, we'll just do a little bit of news and gossip here.
AfterBuzz TV News.
And this is the only thing that we need to concern ourselves about because it is the hottest news happening right now on General Hospital. You know, Jordon, she's gotten a new kidney, but she's still recovering. She's got medical bills up the wazoo.
Oof.
She's going to be needing some time away. But holy cow, poor Charles needs a commissioner. Things are happening all over the place.
Oh, do they have somebody coming in?
Oh, yeah, baby.
Who's coming in?
In a temporary position, but still happening nonetheless. Our boy, Mac Scorpio.
Oh, yummy, yummy.
That's right. John J., you are coming back to be the temporary commissioner of Port Charles. And I am all for that.
I'm for that, too. Remember we were just saying that we wish he had more screen time. Now he's going to get it.
Give it as much as
They have
possible.
listened to the fans yet again. I love it.
Well, just please, make this a permanent thing. I'd rather see Mac, just give him some more screen time. There's stuff you can do with Jordon. Find something else to do with it. Just give my boy Mac some more screen time. That's all I beg of you. That is the hottest news you're going to hear anywhere. It's the most important news that's happening at General Hospital right now. You heard it from me. I cannot think of anything else that's even vaguely as important.
Oh, no. And then somebody's talking about, in the chat room, they're saying, maybe Kelly's saying, maybe Lulu's doing these dangerous stories because she thinks Dante will come back to Port Charles to save her. Yeah, I don't think that that's true. And then John Self says, I want Trina and Cam for a bit. And Dulaman's like, Trina. I'm like, I know. My girlfriend, Sonia, is Trina, the girl that plays Trina, is her mother.
Awesome.
The girl that plays Trina's mother was in The Lion King with me.
Oh,
so,
sweet.
yeah, I would love to see her get some more screen time. They're saying something else, too. They wanted to know, is the new Valerie accepted yet? I think so.
Yeah, I'm just
They're
not
not
a fan
giving
of that
her as much.
hairstyle. Not a fan of that hairstyle.
They're not giving her as much screen time since the whole Christina thing went down, but I like her.
It is a shame because it seemed like they had that little moment of a connection, and I mean, I guess Christina is still kind of sorting things out, but I really would like to see that storyline revisited. And even though they don't have the chemistry that Christina and the former Valerie had,
they don't.
I still think it's an important storyline for those characters, and I'd like to see them at least try.
I would like to see that too. They also, They also said, who was Shiloh talking to at Kelly's? It was that new waitress that he was talking to, Kelly Publicover. And then they also said that Lucy had that experience with Madame Maya with Damian Smith, who Damian Smith hired to fool Lucy in 1995. I'm like, ooh, John Self, he went back.
There you go.
I remember Madame Maya. I forgot all about that. Wow, you went back to the archives for real.
Some of those hot GH storylines that are sometimes best left in the past. Holy folks, cow, he said. Holy cow, folks, we have reached another end to the another exciting episode of the GH Report.
Oh, no.
Time has flown by.
It really did.
But as always, folks, thank you for joining us. Like us on Facebook, give us those 5 stars on iTunes, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you, everyone, for taking time out of your Sunday to hop in the chat and spend the day with us. And now, if you're watching after we streamed online, feel free to comment down below about any of the storylines that we talked about today. Most importantly, just how excited you are to have Mac be the new commissioner of Port Charles. I just want to see comments all about that. But, folks, if you want to stay in touch with either Carla or myself, more importantly Carla, because she's a mover and shaker. She's got things happening in her life. Carla, where can they find you?
Hi, you guys. You can find me across all social media platforms at The Curvy Critic. You can also catch me over at Black Hollywood Live right before the GH Report for The Curvy Critic with Carla Renata. You can catch me there. And then you can catch me in about an hour right back here at AfterBuzz TV doing the after show for American Princess on Lifetime, where we have special guest Shauna, who plays the Maggie, a.k.a. the Queen, on American Princess. So check us out.
Look at that. I mean, Carla is so talented that our own very own Maria Menounos gave her a personal shout out there on Twitter about that. Look at that.
She did. I was very excited.
Look at that. Folks, follow me on the Twittergram. She doesn't even know who I am. But follow me on Twitter. She doesn't. She has no idea.
She does.
Follow me on the Twittergrams, folks, at Happy Go Jackie. Folks, that's going to do it for this episode of the GH Report. We'll be back next week with an all-new episode right here on AfterBuzz TV.
Bye.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners.